Hello, and welcome to this lesson about our solar system. I'm your presenter, Dave Harp. Our solar system consists of the Sun, 4 rocky inner planets, 4 gas giant outer planets, hundreds of moons, numerous dwarf planets, and smaller bodies like comets and asteroids. There's a small band consisting of billions of asteroids and the dwarf planet Ceres that resides between the inner and outer planets. The inner planets are smaller and closer into the Sun, while the outer planets are much larger and further away from the Sun. Kuiper Belt objects are small bodies known as dwarf planets and include Pluto, Eris, and others, along with millions of comets and other icy planetoids. The Oort cloud covers an area extending from the outer edge of the Kuiper Belt to the edge of the solar system. Our Sun is a medium-sized yellow star and can fit roughly 11,700 planet Earths inside. The Sun is at the center of our solar system, and therefore all other bodies revolve around it. Our Sun is approximately 4.6 billion years old and is, of course, the largest object in our solar system. The Sun is made up of multiple elements reacting to cause nuclear fusion, which expels energy out into the rest of the solar system. Since the Sun is approximately 93 million miles away from Earth, light rays from the Sun will take about 8 minutes to reach us here. Moving out from the Sun, we approach the inner planets, starting of course with Mercury, which is closest to the Sun. Mercury is also the smallest of all the planets, but only the second hottest planet because of its thin atmosphere. Venus, on the other hand, which is second closest to the Sun and second largest of all the inner planets, is in fact the hottest planet in the solar system due to a thick atmosphere and uncontrolled greenhouse effect. Venus is only slightly smaller than planet Earth. Moving on to planet Earth, which we know very well. The only planet to currently support life also has one of the only moons among the inner planets. Our moon is largest in comparison to its home planet of all other moons in the solar system. After Earth, we come to the last of the inner planets, known as Mars. Mars has 2 small moons, Phobos and Deimos, and has a very thin atmosphere. Mars is currently home to numerous man-made rovers which are exploring its surface. Mars also is home to the tallest known mountain in the solar system, called Olympus Mons. Continuing out from Mars to the outer planets, we first pass through the asteroid belt, which exists between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter and contains billions of small rocky bodies called asteroids, and 1 dwarf planet known as Ceres. Believed to be the remains of planetary creation and results of early solar system collisions, asteroids range in size from dust particles to the dwarf planet Ceres, which is similar in diameter to the U.S. state of Texas. Despite the large number of asteroids, Earth-launched spacecraft have been able to negotiate the asteroid belt without damage because most of these asteroids are spaced very far apart. Moving out through the asteroid belt to the outer planets, we first come to Jupiter, which is the 5th planet from the Sun, and also the largest sun. Jupiter is as big as all 7 other planets combined and has 67 known moons, with its largest, called Ganymede, being the largest moon in the solar system and actually larger than planet Mercury. After Jupiter comes Saturn, the 6th planet from the Sun, and second largest of the 8 planets. Saturn is known for its beautiful ring system and has at least 150 moons, with Titan being its largest. Saturn's rings extend about 73,000 miles from its surface, but are only about a kilometer tall. Past Saturn, we come to Uranus, the 7th planet and 3rd largest, which is known as an ice giant. Uranus also has rings and is the coldest planet in the solar system. Uranus is different than the others with rings because it's tilted almost perpendicular to the plane of the other planets, so it appears to be standing on its side. Uranus has 27 known moons. The last of the 8 planets is Neptune, which is the furthest planet from the Sun, the 4th largest, and has 13 known moons. Neptune has 6 rings, is about 60 times larger than planet Earth, and is currently about 2.8 billion miles away from the Sun. Moving on to the dwarf planets, we first come to Ceres, which, as mentioned, is located in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, closest by far to the Sun. Ceres has no moons or rings, and is roughly the same diameter as the U.S. state of Texas. This makes it the smallest known dwarf planet. Pluto once was known as a planet, but has since been reclassified. Pluto's orbit actually travels inside of Neptune's for 20 of its 248-year cycle. Pluto is actually smaller than the Earth's moon, but has 5 moons of its own. Pluto resides mostly on the inner edge of the Kuiper Belt. Eris is nearly a twin to Pluto, being similar in size, but resides much further out in the Kuiper Belt. Eris has an elongated orbit which actually flies inside of Pluto's orbit for a brief time frame, and Eris has 1 moon. Haumea has 2 known moons, is much smaller than Pluto, orbits well out in the Kuiper Belt. It is named for a Hawaiian fertility goddess. Makemake is the furthest known dwarf planet, orbits in the Kuiper Belt, and is believed to be smaller than both Pluto and Eris. The Kuiper Belt is a region of the solar system beginning outside the orbit of Neptune, filled with icy objects like comet and dwarf planets. Comets and dwarf planets in the Kuiper Belt revolve around the Sun on the same relative plane as the 8 planets. The Kuiper Belt is believed to be roughly 2 billion miles wide, reaching from just outside of Neptune's orbit to around 5 billion miles away from the Sun. Kuiper Belt objects include dwarf planets like Pluto, Eris, Makemake, and Haumea, along with billions of comets. The Oort cloud is an area outside of the Kuiper Belt, which extends to the end of our solar system and is filled with icy comets and other bodies, but does not revolve around the Sun solely on the planetary plane. In summary, the solar system consists of 8 planets, 5 known dwarf planets, hundreds of moons, billions of comets, and other icy bodies. At the center of the solar system is one medium-sized yellow star we call the Sun. Closest to the Sun are 4 rocky, smaller inner planets named Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, followed by the asteroid belt, which exists between Mars and Jupiter. It is home to millions of small rocky asteroids locked in orbit around the Sun. Beyond the asteroid belt are 4 larger gas giant planets called Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The 5 dwarf planets are smaller than some of the larger moons in the solar system. Pluto, Ceres, Eris, Makemake, and Haumea are the known dwarf planets. The Kuiper Belt is a region of outer space beyond Neptune consisting of icy comets and dwarf planets. While the Oort cloud makes up the outer reaches of our solar system, it is filled with comets not located solely on the planetary plane, but rather in a spherical dome surrounding the entire solar system. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you.